Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now we're back. Yay, high potions and teleport stones. Not really all that useful. Yay, ethers and teleport stones. Not all that useful. Yay, hex potions and teleport stones. Not all that useful. Ethers. More ethers. We defeated the Elder Worm, and thanks for stilling the anger of the wood. Tiamat, in notice of labors undertaken to lessen the dangers we daily face. Defeated Viniscar, and thanks for providing us a most singular example of platinum from Viniscar's scales. Defeated Ahriman. Wanted to thank you for helping me get a hold of that Ahriman offal. Makes you some awful good eats. Defeated Darth Tyron. Presented for furtherance of our knowledge of the Mandragora family. And here's the super ones we have access to right now. The super marks, which we're not going to do. Or are we? Only you can decide. Seriously though, I'm debating letting you guys go ahead and say go do hunts lore. I'll just, face cheat through it. Whoops, wrong thing. I actually have been doing several hunts off camera, basically just to verify my own opinion of the hunts, which is verified. I stand by what I've already said about the hunts. They're okay within reason, and then they get a little sloggy. I'm only barely at the part where I have to do stupid things to get them to spawn, like stand in one place for 5 minutes, which I've already done. Or zone in and out over and over, which I've done that one too. Just kind of seeing which ones we've just unlocked. Okay, so what do we got? The Mind Flare. Nothing super interesting there. You have to do... This is the other irritating thing about the hunts. I mentioned how they lock content behind the hunts. That is to say, story. You have to do the hunts to do several actually pretty good things, including the ever-infamous Gilgamesh chain, which in addition to being Gilgamesh and amusing, is also extremely lucrative if you steal from him every time you encounter him. To get the Genji gear. Yeah. That's also the only way to access Yzmat, obviously, and Omega. It's only a Mind Flayer, Permeus. Good morning, Seraphim. So I've been thinking off camera. I know, strange. I usually don't... I try not to think off camera. And I've been positing some potentials. And I realized, I keep telling you guys, don't worry, the game will totally get worse later. Well, I've been thinking about that, and actually I was only able to come up with 4 potential story negatives. Which I'm going to jot down now just so I don't forget them. Or excuse me, 3. No, Corbs, I'm never going to talk about Star Wars ever, ever again, ever, ever, ever. It's definitely not on the website. Alright, so... the... I know it's weird, Valkorian. So, I don't know how many of those are actually going to be codified. How many of those story negatives are going to be codified. We'll see. Nope, that's not that many. There we go. I'm going to be paying attention, but I want to jot those down before I forgot. Also, as far as gameplay negatives, I had a couple ideas there, too. So we're just going to jot these down as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll see what happens as we go. What I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to go ahead and... Because we're chopping off early today because I'm going to see Star Wars this afternoon. So we're chopping off early. So I'm going to go ahead and try to push at least to the Pharaohs today. No promises, but that's the overall goal. We'll see how far we get. It's either that or I just do optional stuff today, and I'd kind of rather save optional stuff for later since, well, I haven't even unlocked all of it yet, because that's how that works. Where the hell am I going? Yeah, we're at full no mentioning status for Star Wars, by the way, to make that very clear. We're at no tolerance, absolute banning policy kind of a situation right now. FYI. Not that I'm too worried about most of my regular viewers, I'm just pointing it out. You know what, I think I will change her gambits around a little bit. As you can see, I've already been several places here, because I've done several hunts off camera, like I just mentioned. And good lord, do they scale up in difficulty quickly. Holy crap. I'm not even at the really hard stuff, although I did manage the ringworm, so I'm pretty pleased with that one. The ringworm is listed as a tier 3 mark, which I remember distinctly, because back in the day I was like, well, this is a tier 3, I should be able to do this. Oh god, why is it beating the crap out of me? Oh, I know the feeling, Darth Tyrant. I've had a pretty decent track record on not being spoiled on stream. Someone did spoil Fallout 4 multiple times during the Fallout 4 stream, which is a weird one, of all things, you know? Ah, so yes, I can answer you definitively, Takoida. No, you can accept every single hunt simultaneously and complete them all, basically with them in your quest log. The catch is, if you're going to do that, you probably want a piece of a pencil and paper in order to keep track of where everything is. Because it's like, here's this person. Here's where the enemy is. Unless you're only doing like 3 at a time. Hey, Myron. I assume you've beaten FF12 by now, since you're catching up to me so quickly. So here's the Feywood. Jump scare. You like status effects, right? In all sincerity, I might run into a little bit of a brick wall when we actually get to Gira Vegan, which is going to be the next zone after this. We'll see. Oh yeah, so while we're here, anyone mind if I just rant for a minute? I know you hate it when I rant. What do you mean, Dakota? Like, in what direction? I mean, the game really loves its status effects. As I am demonstrating as of this very second in time. The funny thing is, I kind of agree with you. Even when... So there's licenses that make it so that remedies can heal everything. They don't heal everything to start, so you need licenses to unlock that. And I'm actually okay with that as an idea. The catch is when you also... God damn it. I still don't have access to float, by the way. The catch is when you also add into that the fact that remedies, you can only carry so much of them, and they only get rid of whatever you have on you at the time, and they still don't get rid of everything. I believe doesn't get rid of disable, I want to say, or immobilize, something like that. So you always have to have at least the one, you know, gambit and items set up for that. I think I wouldn't mind as much if basically they approached inventory differently. I know this is horrific to say this, but it would be really nice if, for example, you had the option to, rather than having to go buy 99 Chronos tiers, which are expensive as hell, as I've pointed out several times, you know, money is kind of a thing in this game. You just have the Chronos tier slot, and it's got a cooldown. And then maybe, say, you have... really, Hello Worm? And then maybe you have talents, or let us just say licenses, which allow you to lower the cooldown of, you know, status effect things. Something like that, right? Or yeah, like maybe something that allows you to have invulnerability to a status effect X number of times. Like you can cast Esunara, for example. And Esunara, rather than just healing you, it provides status immunity for X number of status effects, right? Something like that. Or maybe make it so that the items themselves give you that status immunity, probably for a set period of time, if we're going to do that route. Like, there's actually a lot of options there. Anyways, so I'm going to rant really quick here while I push through this. When the PC version of Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, was released, it also included features not included in the PS4 version of the game, which are also not in any console version of the game. In a live stream to promote the PC version, they answered a fan's question as to why they have different features. Takashi Kitano answered, and I quote, "I'm a stupid moron who deserves to be punched in the..." Oh, sorry, that's not what he actually said. No, what he actually said was, "We have thought about what kind of gameplay we will provide to each platform and how to enjoy in its own. So they are different platforms. We do not plan to bring mechanics in the PC version to the PS4 version, because we're incredibly stupid." He might not have said that last part, but the rest of that was word for word. So either, Pax and I were talking about this morning, either he's lying straight through his teeth, possible, or they really are that stupid. Like, forgive me, there's a pretty wide gap of difference between we're going to add mouse support to a PC game, because it's a PC game, and we're going to remove toggleable options from the menu from a console version of a port. And you had to remove it, too, because it came out later. Like, they had to go out of the way and do more work to Now, what's even worse about this is demonstrably untrue. Now, so in case you're wondering, I actually decided to do a manual check of this. So Final Fantasy VIII, X, and XII have features on the PC that are specifically removed from the console versions, whereas FF7 and 9 have all of the features from the PC ports into the console version. So I don't even know what to say about that. Consequently, we will be playing the PC version of FF8 when we get there, because screw that mess. However, what really pisses me off most about that is I now have a copy of FF8 on the Switch, which I will never play. Because it's a crappy port. And just... I think what pisses me off most is with that attitude, they pretty much flat out say that they're never going to patch it, right? Because they could. Like, as Dakota points out, you can patch console games. They do it all the frickin' time now. So they could patch it. But if they're like, oh no, we did it on purpose because we have squirrels for brains, then that means they're not going to patch it. I am apparently turned around. Get so distracted by squirrels for brains. God, I just... Whatever. The best part, while I was trying to look up some information for this, I came across quite a few web comments of people commenting on the stories about it. And all of those comments were drivel or deliberately provocative troll comments. And I found a lot of them amusing. There was one that PAX actually found particularly hysterical. I'm going to paraphrase it. It was basically... Well, it's no wonder they would add cheats to the PC version. We all know the master race has no skill, and therefore needs cheats to be able to play video games. I hope you enjoy, Bragman. My movie starts in a few hours, too. Go figure. So anyways, rant off. I'm just... I guess it's a really stupid complaint when you sit and think about it. It's just, frickin' really? It's like you go to a restaurant, you order a really nice burger, and what you get is not that. And you're like, well, no, but I'd like the burger that I ordered. Oh, well, we've decided that we're not going to do that in order to give you the best possible experience for the person sitting at the window rather than the person sitting at the booth. It's like, but I ordered this burger. You could go back into the kitchen right now and make the burger I ordered. Yes, but we're not going to do that. And it's all because of Chai Guy. Why would you do this to me, Chai Guy? How could you do this? You were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring order to Bloodstained, not leave it in darkness. Thank you, Chai Guy. Thank you very, very much for the sub. And now I got alt tab. Oh. For Bloodstained. So noted. Where the hell is this stupid encounter? Is it down here? Did I just completely miss it? Yeah, I'm with Permeus. I need to just take over. At some point, I just need to be like, you know what? Screw you. I'm taking over. You have no choice in this matter anymore. Piss off. The companies clearly can no longer be trusted to act like companies. Screw 'em. I'd say Deus Vult, but that doesn't really get across what I mean. I mean, I agree to quite a total... Okay, I can't even joke about that. Ugh, people are dumb. I need to play Fortnite? Well, alright. I'm playing Fortnite right now. It's a new patch for Fortnite. They just added it. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't seen the content. Only the really good Fortnite players get to see this content. Maybe if you keep practicing long enough, you might be able to someday see something equivalent to this. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't, though, you know. Only the top 0.% of players can actually accomplish this. Am I gonna have to pull up a goddamn walkthrough? Like, I'm where I'm supposed to be, yet it's not triggering and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, back to the save crystal, sure. Hello, Dallas. There we go. God, how did this not trigger earlier? I was just freaking here. I hadn't gotten 5 feet to the south. Hi, Kay. Don't mind me, I'm just gritting my teeth. Well, Kay, can you argue any gameplay positives for the game? Or story negatives? Yeah, I know, right? There's just this thing like, hey, you should come this way, but... So, boss time, finally. Status effects. The boss. Hope you enjoy this, by the way. We're going to have a bit of a boss cavalcade for the next several sections. See, what's funny is I was trying to put that into words, Kay. Because I agree. Like, usually when I play this game, I literally stop playing the game right about where I'm at right now. I just like, yep, reach this section of the story. And walk away. See, I've already given a negative to story for absent content. Like, as of this point in time, that's already a thing. I agree. As weird as this may sound, though, I thought I'd have more negatives to story, but I can only think of, like, 5 total, and 3 of those I'm still debating. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm telling you, status effects the boss. Disease is the best part, though. Which is the best part because I don't think I have a way of dealing with disease right now. In case you're wondering, disease makes it so that whatever your current HP is your max HP. By the way, he does sap and disease at the same time. Hello? There we go. No, sap drains HP. Sap is just a constant form of poison. Poison is periodic damage, sap is constant ticking damage. But sap plus disease means your HP is your max HP is constantly going down, which is a very mean combo. Now the strategy I just used is one of the strategies I actually do normally use for that fight, which is Phoenix down spam. Because believe it or not, once you're at 1 HP, he doesn't attack all that often. I don't know, Mitch Connor. Depends on if we do the optional content, which I'm still going to let you guys kind of decide. So yeah, we're still diseased, so we're going to go and deal with that. I can't really think of any buffs that have synergy with each other, just buffs that are, you know, basically mandatory. By the way, to further make my point from earlier, you'll notice we have had no story. We must go to Giravegan because Cid is totally not baiting us to go here. And then not even a bit of dialogue as we enter the Feywood. Or this area. Yeah, a snow jungle swamp. Filled with mist. But yeah, this, as Kay is mentioning, as I have talked about several times, this is when the absent content really starts to show. Oh, Jesus, that's a rare. No wonder it's causing me issues. The game had a development problem a lot of games had. Slogging development followed by a year of just absolutely crunching. So there is a lot of content literally missing from the game. We know a decent amount of it thanks to Ultimania and interviews, but yeah, from this point until the end of the game, there's just giant gaping holes in the story. The stuff that's there is still good, in my opinion. Like, the encounter with the Ocuria, good stuff. Or the scene at the top of the Pharos, that's awesome. Wigging out on me here. By the way, the enemies here, if you're not noticing, are a substantial jump up in difficulty. In the interest of just getting through this, I'm very tempted to just go ahead and give a gameplay negative to grind and just cheat. I haven't decided yet, and obviously I want to push as far as I can before I get there, but I do remember the difficulty ramps up rather substantially and rapidly at this point in the game. Hello? Okay. Hello, Chicago. Yeah, ignore the behemoths. I love how it's like, you don't have a mini-map. I totally have a mini-map right now. Well, time to die at the door, like this was EverQuest. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay. Hello, Mighty Mage. We have not cheated yet, no. Not counting preventing myself from dying at Draklor. That is the one time we have cheated, because I didn't feel like doing Draklor again. The crystal is probably the only one of 2 dungeons that will probably get a negative by itself, yes. Because screw the crystal. Nothing here. Like, the crystal commits basically every cardinal sin of dungeon design. All in one. No mini-map, samey categories, quick load times, so no actual visual continuity. And by quick load times, I mean multiple load zones would be a better way to phrase that. Yeah, no, I did it right. What the hell? Oh yeah, it's also visually an eyesore, and I don't care for the music in there. So, music. Visuals. Lots and lots of repeated, you know, graphics of the area. Just, yeah, the whole thing is just, no thank you. So I did this right. What the hell, game? Maybe I should start here? I guess we'll do that. See what happens. There we go. Okay. I'm an idiot, apparently. Ignore me. I'm apparently as stupid as Square Enix. Because Square Enix is stupid. Right, I actually have to do this, don't I? The one and only summon you have to do in the entire game. That's funny, Melkor. By the way, we have the nomination spreadsheet for, like, the end of decade stream thing up. If anybody's interested in adding to that, you're more than welcome to. We're taking basically any nomination within reason. Top recommendations for the FF franchise. Apart from 11 and 14. From what angle, Darth Tyron? Like, my personal favorites. Homeworld Cataclysm might qualify as a good port. We actually have a category for best port or remake. Although, I could think of better ports and remakes than that in the last decade, but it would qualify. Here's Giravegan. Enjoy this cutscene. This is about all we get. As far as story for this chunk. Like, you know what? Hang on. To add to what Kay said, because Kay's talking about the oppressive nature as we get closer and closer to the Ocuria. One of the things that has always struck me is, obviously the tone is substantially different, but for this part of the game, it feels like all of the interesting story and dynamic and political maneuverings and war and all that fun stuff is happening over there, and we're off on an errand. Like, I feel like I'm not even getting it across with that. It feels like all the cool stuff, all the stuff I'm actually interested in is happening over there off camera. And then they're telling me, go do this extremely uninteresting thing. And I'm like, okay, sure. We'll go ahead and go do this extremely uninteresting thing.
On the farthest shores of the River of Time, shrouded deep in the roiling mist, What is it, Fran?
The mist runs thick here.
Like on the Leviathan?
Do not worry. I will behave myself. The mist here is cooled. I sense something like the shadow here.
Venar. It appears Sid has yet to arrive. We'll lie in wait for him here.
Or we could be stupid.
Going inside?
Not unless you want to end up twisted. Like the old man. Something there.
No, there's nothing there. Not really. Only a shadow. That's how I've always perceived it, Takoida. It also means that mist can take multiple different forms depending on
What is it?
frequency, for lack of a better word.
She can see him. Let's follow her.
It is possible, it's just that the mist has been sitting here for a long time, rather than being shoved around. Notice you can kind of see the paling in the distance, by the way. Keeping people from entering Girovegan. Just minor little note I wanted to point out there. So first we have to fight a boss. Because of course we do. Yeah, no, our Nethicite should be like... right now. But it isn't because... I love, by the way, that our literal excuse for going into Girovegan is she's seeing a vision, a hallucination, whatever you want to call it, and we're like, she's seeing a vision. We should follow her. That's our literal excuse for entering Girovegan. The most terrifying boss of all time. The same frickin' trash mob we've been fighting for a while, but with slightly different textures. Alright. I don't know if I agree with that Dream Bomb. We saw what they could do, what it did with the Leviathan's engine, and with the flare spell that was cast at it. Although that was the artificial Nethicite, so never mind on that part. We did still see it rip energy out of the Leviathan in minutes. Well, Darth Tyrant, if I was to recommend a Final Fantasy game to start with, I would say 4DS on the PC. I would also recommend 9 on the PC. I suppose, duh. And 5, not on the PC. What are you doing? Okay. So do I have permission to cheat yet? Please. Of course I saved. Even if I didn't, the autosave has me covered. Like, we're just at that point where I need to go and grind. That's where we're at. I know this game, and it's gonna get worse after this. I do not have any ability to dispel. I don't have any ability to buff. Let me double check that really quick. Nope. I have the licenses, but not the spells. I have a couple motes I could use. Maybe... Nope, actually I take that back. I do not have any motes I could use. So no is the answer to your question. I could go level. I have the best... By the way, I didn't actually show this on camera, but I should probably mention that you notice the 600,000 gil I have lying around. Yeah, I've already gone around and bought everything. I have the best equipment available at this point in the time. Let's see, do we have anything that gives me anything? Nope. Hello, Juanto. Spells are both, Takoida. But again, I have bought every spell I currently have access to. Like I said, I spent a good 3 hours off camera doing hunts, grinding up money. So I have actually already stopped and grinded to further add to my point. The fact that I'm still having issues here, by the way, I'm also level 40 if you're paying attention, is even more aggravating. Oh yeah, I also got Adramilk off camera. That was unintentional. He was on the way to a hunt, and I was like, well, sure. While we're here. Yeah, I don't have a lot of licenses I can get to improve my damage output right now, either. I can get this. I'll go and do that. Give myself a little more HP. Oh no, 10's more grindy, make no mistake. Although I did have to BS the hell out of FF10 to avoid it. I guess I could quickening when he's low on health? I'll have to remember how to do that. I usually don't use quickenings, because they suck. Well, let's go ahead and grab these and see what we can get. It's okay, in the console version, you can change license boards. But they took options out of the console version because they have scrolls for brains. I'm not letting that go. That was the weirdest thing to wake up to. It's like, I woke up to a joke from PAX, which was like, ah, and then that. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Possible, Takoida? See, the problem is that I don't know if I agree with that because I have a healer, a caster, and a buffer, which I specifically got in my main party to avoid the building into a corner problem. If I had a monk, I probably would be doing better, but I don't know if that would actually improve the situation. Well, now I can equip the shell shield, which I've had for a while. Let's go grab that. Which is weird, because I know with total certainty that by this point in the game, you know, not international version, I had access to that stuff. This could be a bit of walkthrough-itis. Maybe I need to look up where to find some of the spells. I do distinctly recall when I was playing this originally on the PS2 and I had the actual physical strategy guide, and I was trying to find, like, where the hell is such and such a spell? Oh, it's where? Because some of them are just in weird spots, and it doesn't really tell you when exactly they become available for purchase or procurement. Excalibur. Why would you ever want that? Anyways, so we've done a few licenses, and that's it, because that's all I got right now. Save. Yeah, the save. Take 2. What do you mean? Hey, Larian. Oh yeah, I can skip. Skippable cutscenes! One thing this game gets a lot better. Yeah, let me buff really quick here. I'll cast Gravity. And then I'll cast nothing. And then... Oh, I do have Protect. Holy crap. I do have... Oh, I see the... Okay, so I do have Protect. Hang on. So, I'm a moron. It's a white spell. That's my fault for being dumb. And actually, instead of this, we're going to go ahead and do... just for the hell of it. You have to give me a minute, because this is stupid. Okay. Skip. Do I have any... Nope. Nope again. Alright, whatever. Buffs that can miss. Oh my gosh. Is he not? The FF7 port on the Switch is probably the best version of FF7. It's also the version we'll be playing. Make of that what you will. Oh, that's why. I'm a moron. Actually, while we're here... Don't remember how to do anything, so okay, sure. I don't remember how to do these. 400 damage. I literally hit for harder than that. And I'm dead. And we're death looping. I mean, Protect is gone now, yeah. So. But no, he has a Berserk. Almost every boss has a Berserk. You can tell when they're flashing like that. So we're going to try to use a little bit of strategy. Give us a little bit of time to recoup here by splitting out. Yeah, this isn't happening.
It cannot end us.
Well, let's try it. So at this point, we're just falling way behind. Let's do this. Oh yeah, I bought 99X potions too. I guess I could use those too. This is almost funny to watch. Almost. I'm over here now. Oh my god, he just hit me for 3,000. Or more accurate, like 2,800. Okay. Okay. God, I hate this game sometimes. So yeah, they should be on X potions. She's on double X potions right now. I do have 99 remedies on me. Switch this around. The off chance I live through this. Just some motes. I've looked like 3 or 4 times, Dakota. Like, I could see if it does enough damage, but I doubt it. So let's try a... Yeah, I've got like 2 motes of damage. So we'll try 1 here. You? Use the mote. But that doesn't seem to be doing anything. I don't have any Dispel whatsoever. I've checked that several times when it came to getting rid of his haste. Let's try Bio. That did nothing. Oh, I do have a Dispel mod. Holy crap. Didn't do anything, but I did have it. Yeah, I don't think he actually has any status effects up at this point. He's just in his enrage phase. He just hit me 8 times. It missed, so that it's either missing or it can't. There's nothing to dispel. One of the two. I don't think there's anything to dispel. I think his haste is long since worn out. Jesus Christ. I'm fine with cheating. I really am fine with cheating. I know this game. Even if I get past this boss, I still have like 3 more bosses to go through. And Girovagan's trash mobs. And then the Crystal's trash mobs. I'm pretty sure that cheating's on the menu. And is the negative related to it. Especially since I've already grinded for 4 hours at this point. 4 hours I've spent grinding. Why am I even debating this? Negative to gameplay. Grind. Oh, I already did it. Damn it, I've already given the game a negative for grinding. Damn it! Ah, well. Yeah, 3 hours today. Well, actually, 2 hours today. 1 hour yesterday and the other hour yesterday. I have spent 4 hours grinding in this game. Oh my god! I don't know, 4 hours of grind and still having these kind of issues is pretty bad. I walked into this with 99 X potions, 99 Phoenix Downs, 99 high potions, although I was misusing those. So let's see what we're actually at, shall we? God damn it, game. Don't do this to me. Stop being crappy. There you go. Good boy. So. We're down to 3 Phoenix Downs. And 36 X potions. No. There we go. Well, hang on. Let's go. Where the hell? God, I'm actually turned around now. Let's go buy up another 90 Phoenix Downs. I can afford it, because I already did the grind. By the way, I found out on the PC version, that is to say with Cheat Engine, there is a 100% loot drop cheat, so that's awesome. So, if you ever play this game on the PC, get Cheat Engine and get the 100% drop cheat. Even if nothing else, that one cheat fixes so many issues with this game. I was talking about that yesterday, Kay, about how so many of the curves of the game are much smoother with that cheat on. I know, right, Dakota? Okay. Oh, this guy doesn't sound like... Yeah, see, I've bought all the spells. Oh, here we go. Where's Phoenix Downs? There we go. Let's buy up another 99 Phoenix Downs. Although I need to go buy X potions, which I think are in here. What do you think, Zeiss? You think they're in here? Because if they're not, well then I can't give that to Black Mesa. There. So, yeah, that was about 50,000 gil just thrown out the window there to recover from that one fight. Thank you very much, Dice. Very much appreciate the sub, as always. And I will jot that down for Black Mesa. I was actually thinking about the differences in difficulty design recently. As it occurred to me, I should probably save. It occurred to me that there's a difference between what I would consider difficulty and punishment. Like, I've talked before about how some games aren't really hard, they're just very punishing. Something that is difficult... See you around, Seraphim. Something that's difficult is hard to do. Something that is punishing is hard to recover from, or I'm saying that wrong, is hard if you fail at it, right? Basically, differing perspectives on exactly how the game approaches it, you know, the both axes of difficulty. And it's interesting to think about, because I know plenty of games who try to make the game difficult by making it very punishing, which, in my blunt opinion, isn't really all that interesting of a methodology. I thought Zen wasn't out yet, Zeiss. Like, I'm still mentally cataloging Black Mesa as a game that's not yet out. But first we have to do the third worst dungeon in the game. It's not as bad as Draculor, or the Crystal. I'll also spend an enormous amount of time farming this area. I don't even remember why. I really don't. There's something here I needed. Yeah, you're exactly right, Tiquita. Like, I was thinking of, what's that excellent punishing platformer that I loved the hell out of? That I've actually 100%ed on the Switch. I can't think of the name of it. Yeah, maybe I'm losing my mind. I can't think of anything's names. Celeste, not Bloodstained, although Bloodstained kind of qualifies too. But no, so in that game, is that what it's called? Hang on, this is gonna bother me. Is it Celeste? Let's double check here. It is Celeste, okay. In Celeste, which I would usually refer to as a punishing platformer by genre, you get a save every screen. That's pretty much the opposite of punishing difficulty. In fact, I would say Celeste has difficulty rather than being punishing. Which means I may have to start rethinking my definitions. Sorry, just getting rid of sap really quick. Yeah, Celeste was almost entirely actual difficulty. There is one thing in Celeste, that is punishing, and that's the golden apple. Or the golden cherry, or whatever, which can go to hell, by the way. So, if you get through an entire level, an entire stage without dying, you get an extra cherry. And then there's one where you have to get through the entire first stage without dying or dashing. You can never dash the entire stage. I actually did that one, by the way. That was fun. That was legitimately fun to do. But the no dying ones can go to hell. I should adjust our gambits, it just occurred to me. Hang on. Okay, so he's set to 50% emergency heal. He's set to normally heal, as he should be. He should also be set to emergency heal. And she should be set to emergency healing as well. There we go. One thing and only thing I will give them is there's this giant, constructive Titan-looking facility thing we got going on here. And as we get further down it, the background changes to show that we're getting closer and closer to the crystal. That's kind of cool. I like that. But I hate this dungeon. And I'm just going to be trying to push through this as quickly as I can. I'm not skipping anything. Korean method, etc. I'm getting turned around, though, because I'm a moron. This way. Exactly, Mitch Connor. Now you begin to understand. I was farming these guys too, but I really don't remember what for. Like, specifically the mithril golems. So the gimmick for this place is there's switches that you have to hit to open doors. I'm pointing this out because if you've been paying attention, for as much as... So this is an actual answer to Mitch Connor's question. As much as I make fun of the dungeon design of this game, because it sucks, at least just about every single dungeon up until this point has had at least one thing to try and vary it a little bit in terms of gimmick or design. This place, it's literally hit a switch to open a door. That's the gimmick. Does he have that spell? He does not. Well, hang on. Where's he at? Really wish there was like a search function. Instead of just what I'm doing. I could learn Confuse right now if I wanted to for some strange reason. Grab these while I'm here, though. Okay, so... Actually, no, I do want that on. Okay. I'm just going to assume that he has all the Remedy lores, because I didn't see any Remedy lores he's missing. And Remedy did just get rid of Sap, so woo! But yeah, part of the reason I feel so aggravated right now, and I just want to stress this, is it's not like I've just been bolting through the game at Mach 10. Right? Again, as I mentioned earlier, I've spent 4 total hours grinding in this game. I have the best equipment I can currently equip. I have gotten equipment from Hunts. I have done most of my license grid, you know? This is not a low-level playthrough. So, she is a knight time mage. Balthier is a black mage bushi. I can remember the name of it. And Bosch is a holy dragoon. White mage dragoon. I have gotten some use out of a black mage, mostly in the hunts. But it wastes mana way too quickly in this version. Like, mana is such a precious resource in this version of the game. Holy crap. Well, that's exactly my point, Kay. Like, you're literally making my point for me. If you don't do the optional content, you are substantially lower in total power than you probably should be. No, I don't have haste. I could go Google it, I could look it up. Figure out where haste is. Apparently Float is on the Cheetah Uplands. I do think that's a good addition, Kay. But I do think that the way that they nerfed the mana thing in this game is terrible. What, ripping mana out of one of your other people? I could try that. It's not like they need their mana at this point, so I don't even have haste. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll go ahead and set him up. We'll go ahead and get him another Gambit. Oops, wrong person. I need another Gambit slot. Grab that while we're at it. Out of Balthier, specifically. I don't even have Osmos. Oh, it's probably easier overall, Dream Bomb. Really. It just means the original was even grindier than I remember. And I remember the original being grindy. Love Disease. Best status effect in the entire game right there. Then again, what do you want to bet people say it's easier because they can just grind quicker? I've heard a lot of people who seem to think that less time equals easier and more time equals harder. And I disagree with both of those sentences. So, by the way, disease doesn't go away when you die. Hey, Dream Whisperer. Sakes. Hang on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't actually have cleanse. I could double check that. In a minute, of course. Okay. Look, they're full health. Do I have cleanse? Nope. I mean, it makes sense. As I've said before, levels don't really have a lot to do with your power output in this game. Not really. It's far more about your equipment and your licenses. Which is fine. Oh, you son of a Submariner! You saw what they did, right? They're like, okay, we'll cast Stop on you. That'll prevent you from running. This might actually be a game over if I can't get out of here in time. Yep, nope, this is gonna be a game over. No, I'm gonna accept the death, it's okay. I like wasting my time. And your time. Hi, Sal, dear. I'm also being extremely stubborn. There we go. Ugh, that's the zone line. Ugh. So there's the worst dungeon in the game.
I can't shake the feeling we're somewhere we're not meant to be.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Exciting?
You are not troubled by the unknown? Who can say what lies ahead? We may encounter the very creators of Nethicite.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll find. I like it better that way.
You're sounding more the Sky Pirate every day.
Oh god, we still have disease. It's okay, there's a crystal up ahead. right in the next room, maybe? I thought it was here. Hey, Sleepga! Useful. Oh god, is the crystal after the boss? No, it's right there, it's right there. Oh, thank god. Okay, okay. Hi, Mr. Red. Oh, geez, Saldir, don't tell me. Oh, my God. Alright, obviously I'm being a little facetious for the sake of comedic factor, but it is worth noting that that's mostly because I'm trying to cover up how immensely frustrating this is. Like, all joking aside, all everything else aside, this part of the game is aggravating, and it's aggravating every time I get here. Even if I'm doing the optional stuff, it's still just like, ugh. If I haven't been doing the optional stuff, it's even worse. But again, I remind you, I have done quite a bit of optional stuff. I showed you that at the beginning. I showed you which hunts I had access to and which ones I had moved up to. I beat the frickin' ringworm. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a negative here. So we're going to have a negative for that. We're not at the crystal yet, so I'll debate that in a minute. I am going to go ahead and... Jesus Christ, Salder. Are you cursed? Like, literally cursed? Is that a thing that can happen? I'm sorry, dude. It's like Mr. Red, you know. He's cursed. Wait. He's not actually cursed. Hi, Hazardous. I'm kidding, Mr. Red. Thank you very, very much for the sub, as ever and always. But I will not put it towards Eden. I mean, head on. Do they say it in the game? Will we find out how they pronounce it once we get to the game? Hi, Ethel. So I'm going to try and define this negative to story. And I've been trying to define it for a while, and I've been failing at it. So I'm just going to do the best I can here. But there's a difficult to define shift in tone and presentation of story the moment you head to Vegan, which strongly reduces my enjoyment of the overall story. It feels like all the interesting stuff is going on over there while we're off randomly descending into eerie... No, eerie's the wrong word. Into mystical hell. Head on. Okay, that's whatever. Because that's what JRPGs do. There we go. That's why I wanted to find that. So, here's where we're at right now, having typed all that up. Let's just reconnoiter. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those 3 are debatable, because we're not there yet. Scroll up. Gameplay positives. We're just going to go ahead and add... I've been thinking about it. We're done with the overworlds. And I do think the overworld design is generally good. Overworlds. The overworld zones, basically. Story-wise, I've been thinking about this. We're just going to kind of wipe this board and be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll debate that last one. Story positives are where they're at. Although, actually, if I'm being completely honest, I should just go ahead and give the 20th positive right there and be done with it. And you're probably thinking, why, Lore? Well, this is actually an aggregate. Despite their relative lack of screen time, Zect, or Redis, Sid, and Gabranth are all very interesting and frankly excellent characters. Well voice acted and interesting arcs. If anything, my biggest complaint is that we don't have more of them. They are substantially more interesting than several characters we do have more screen time with. There, boom. Let's go back down to double speed. No, Kira White Noise. It is not. So how many people think I'm going to die to the next boss? Or the next one, or the next one? Hands up! Because we got several coming up in rather short succession here. I think there should be a quadruple. But yeah, to go back to what Mitch Connor was talking about, this is still just kind of indicative of the general lack of quality in dungeon design. Look at this, big open corridors. Nothing really interesting going on. Just big, open, empty corridors. I almost hope I can't, because then I could finally cheat. I'm sorry to say that. I just really would rather cheat and be done with it. Not done with the game. I mean, done with barely struggling along. You could land a plane in these dungeons. But yeah, I love FF12. I do. I think the 20 story positives probably indicate that. But one of the things that I've always thought, and I've said this several times, is that the descent in quality of Square Enix's games didn't start with 13, you know? Like it or not, it started earlier than that. And if you pay attention, if you really analyze 10 and 10.2 and 12, you can see the design flaws of 13 there. They're just covered by enough good to make it like, oh, okay, I can put up with that. I should be able to go this way. Why can't I go this way? The difference is 10, 10.2, and 12 all had things that helped make up for it, in my opinion anyways. Things that were like, oh yeah, this totally makes it worth putting up with in order to enjoy, right? Oh, for God's sakes. The biggest problem with 13, in my opinion, is that there's not a lot that makes pushing through 13 worthwhile. That's the flaw of 13, in my opinion. Alright, where am I supposed to go here? God damn it. The music is good in 13. I will actually completely agree on that. I like 13 soundtrack. I even bought it. But, I can enjoy that without playing the game. I not already go over there? I swore I did. I mean, it's filled out in the map. Now I'm just frustrated. Like, I know what I'm looking for, but I'm not seeing it for some reason. Oh, there it is! God damn it, it's right frickin' there. Couldn't see the dots. So anyways, boss time. So, death time! Let's split out a little bit for this one. I don't even remember what that icon means. I can't do something. Techniques, I think. In 13, Dream Bomb? Or in 12? Or in 5? Yeah, 12... Have I given this game a negative for walkthroughitis? Because I really should. Wow, I haven't. No, there it is, there it is. Yep, I have. Because, sorry, to... I know, right, Kay? What I mean by that, though, this is probably, in my opinion, the worst example of walkthroughitis. When a game is just substantially more enjoyable when you have a walkthrough, something's kind of off, you know? And that's 12 for me. I mean, you could argue that that's a different type of game design, because then it's all about mapping out and pathing the exact way you're going to go through the game, which is what the walkthrough allows you to do. It's like, okay, well, I need to go get this item, and I need to do this hunt in order to unlock this hunt, in order to unlock this hunt, in order to get this item, and this spell I get from this chest in this area, and blah, 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 right? Because, again, that's exactly how I played this game the first time I played it. I've actually never played FF12 without a walkthrough of some kind. The playthrough you're watching right now is probably the least walkthrough-y playthrough I've ever done. By the way, I used a walkthrough for the hunts, obviously. Just to speed that up. Although, I haven't really done most of the walkthroughs that... Or, excuse me, most of the hunts that I really need a walkthrough yet. Like the Gill Snapper. That's a good question, Kira White Noise. And yeah, exactly, Permius. So in case you guys don't have enough reason to hate me and despise my opinion, I've been talking with several of my in-person friends about FF6 for when we get there. Because they know my method of review and they know how I do things. And so basically I've posited to them the question, can they come up with any story negatives for FF6? It's been a fascinating discussion. So anyways, this is the Crystal Dungeon. This is what every room looks like. Problem number 1. Music's okay. I'll give it the music. The enemies here really suck, but there's not that many of them. So that's okay. So problem 1, every room looks the same. Problem 2, it's a cellular dungeon. In my opinion, that there's ways to make that work, but I don't like it. Just to put it as simply and bluntly as I can, I don't like where every 20 feet is a zone line. You know, every room is a completely separate... It's like Zelda 1, which I don't care for that much either. Then there's the fact that we have no map, or... Like, you notice we literally have no mini-map whatsoever. If we pull up the map, we have that. which is that, in case you're wondering. So that's our map. So, samey design, cellular rooms, and no map whatsoever. Now, the truth of it is, and I'll go ahead and be honest about this, going through here for the first time isn't actually all that bad. Because and watch, I'm going to get lost saying this, but it's relatively easy to figure out where you have to go and what you have to do the first time through. It's when you come back here to get the optional stuff, that sucks. In fact, if you'll forgive me, I think I did this for the lore run too. Give me 1 second. Yeah, here we go. There's a lot of maps and a lot of different styles of maps that show this off. This should get it across. This should be a nice, easy way to get across the idea. So if you give me 1 moment here. Because I'm just going to show you. For those of you who haven't actually seen this dungeon before, for those of you who are not really cognizant or haven't played it in a while or whatever. There we go. So, this is a map of the dungeon, right? Now, for the first loop, oh god, where are we? For the first loop through, which is what we're on now, we basically just stay down here. And you can see how this is relatively easy to navigate. It's when you add in that crap up there that it just starts becoming... Because Ultima is way at the top, Omega is way up in the upper right, and you have to go a completely separate route for that. And if you see all those little blue lines, those are the actual doors that require specific switches to be hit on the specific spot in order to unlock it. So there's like basically a specific route you have to go through. And again, I remind you, every room looks the same, with a couple of notable exceptions. Basically, to clarify, there's rooms with 1 path, 2 paths, 3 paths, and 4 paths. So there are 4 separate rooms in this game, or in this dungeon, and that's it. And that's the variant in design. Anything else is just a minor little thing, which is barely there. Anyways, yeah, so this dungeon sucks. So here's, for example, an example of one where there's 2 connecting paths. I will be honest, however, for all my gripes with the Great Crystal, there's another dungeon I dislike more than this one in this game, really. At least as far as main playthrough. I should clarify that. Coming back here for the frickin' optional stuff is awful, but for main playthrough, there is a worse dungeon for me, and you guys know what it is, because it's Pharaoh's. It's frickin' Pharaoh's. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The Pharaoh's is just slog, slog, slog. That's all it is. Have fun, Bragwin. Hopefully. But yeah, even if I was to excuse this dungeon, it is at the very least boring. Again, it's actually the exact same style of dungeon as the previous one, as Girovegan. It's just now you don't have a minimap to help guide you. And the sameness of the areas. And that's ultimately why I think this dungeon deserves a negative. You can argue against me, and in fact, I'm willing to hear you out on this one. But ultimately, the best thing I could say about the crystal is that it's boring. I believe you, Celtis Lullaby. I really do. I know 3 people personally who have quit the game at either Giruvegan, the Crystal, or the Pharaohs. And I suppose I should add out Valvedrix to that list because you know, she has also quit the game at Giruvegan. By the way, you're probably thinking, well, this isn't so bad. Let me turn off speed. Why don't you see this dungeon as it was designed to be done? Have I made my point? That's Scorpio. So we had, you say you have no problem with him. Cool. But again, if you're going to argue in favor of it, you know, argue. What do you got? Dang it. Basically, Takoida, since you just joined us, I'm asking people to argue that this should not be a gameplay negative. I doubt I will ever play this game at 1 speed ever again. Is this the... No, it's 8. God dang it. That's the way out. Alright, I'm just gonna pull up a map if that's okay with everyone. Is that cool if I just pull up a map? Alright, where are we at? Where are we at? Hey, you get Heystaga in here. Way, way in here. Alright, so let's move this over here. I actually did. I showed off the map on camera already. So this should be waypoint 8, which this map doesn't show the numbers. So this is a terrible map. What the hell is this map? Alright, hang on. Let's find a third map. Give me a second. What's this one? Nope, that doesn't show off the numbers. What about this one? Oh, this looks like, yeah, this is the one from the strategy guide, which I used. Okay, so we're at 8. Yeah, that's the one I was using, and it's not properly labeled, Dream Bomb. You'll notice it doesn't label the numbers of anything. It just has Sirahu Fulum Pra, Da Vikari Debim Pra, which I have no idea what the hell that means. So we'll use this one. For those curious, and I'll go ahead and link this, this is the map that was in the strategy guide, the physical strategy guide. Okay, so we're at 8, which is right there. Actually, I've done the Endless Halls in Ovain, and I did it with pen and paper, too. I didn't know how else to do it. Later on, they added an add-on to help map that place out, which was just like, damn it. If only I'd known. All right, so where am I trying to get to? I have no idea where I'm trying to get to. What's my goal here? All right, whatever. So I'm here. This is gate... What? That's Scorpio. Yep. But that should be like this. See you around, Mr. Red. Didn't I already turn this off? I swore I already turned this one off. Oh, right. It will not actually open. Let me guess, I have to equip the worst accessory in the game again to make it open. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know about the add-on until I was already going through it. I was like, oh, okay. Does anyone remember why I can't use the Scorpio Stone? Or the Scorpio Switch? The interim. Let's go ahead and go up to quad speed at this point. And then go this way. And then go this way. And this should be 7. Yep. I never actually did the hive mind one. I mean, that could be it. Okay, so the gate is, hang on. So 1, 2, 3. So the gate's already open. I've already opened this. So it actually tracked that, so that's good. So the cancer gate's open, ironically. Ooh, a gold hairpin. That's actually kind of useful. Hang on. Never mind. Completely useless. Ignore me. No, it doesn't do the half MP thing, and it's also a helmet. And it's light magic only. Okay, so... It should only be one way? Okay, yep. I can try to get lost again. I'll use this. So now we've got... So we want to go this way. The Ares switch. They really like the Zodiac thing in Japan, don't they? Does anybody know why that is? Or maybe it's just the Final Fantasy teams, I don't know. They really like hitting the Zodiac points for some reason. I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible they just do it because FFT did it. Although it doesn't explain why FFT did it, but whatever. Yeah, but that doesn't answer me, Dream Whisperer. Like, a lot of FF games have the Zodiac thing. I'm not asking why FF12 has it. Hell, a lot of JRPGs use the Zodiac things. FF14 has the Zodiac, for God's sakes. It's the duct tapes. Yeah, they also like the tarot thing, too. That's another one, which I guess is the same thing. Do I not have... I do not. Oh, alright, whatever. So I need to teleport. Why, Dream Whisperer? Hell, there's just occurred to me, there's literally a class called Astrologian in FF14. No, Roaring. I don't actually have Netflix right now.
I've never seen this much mist. Are you all right?
I'm fine. Thank you.
I feel like Pinello has already asked Fran that.
Is that Nethicite?
I wonder.
With that much nethicite in one's grasp,
You could destroy all of Ivalice if you wished it.
I guess that would make sense, Platinum. Hang on, I'm just gonna let her die really quick. Give me a second. Oh, I need to unequip her before she dies. There we go. Oh, I had a save crystal right here. I let her die for nothing. So let's say that should be it right there. We should be done. And I am correct. So that's the Great Crystal, first time around. That's about a third of the size of just the rest of the crystal. You know, the optional stuff. Boss time! Is it a horse? Is it a man? Is it a bell? Pepsi Man! I told you it's a man, horse, bell. I'm not really kidding. That is what this thing is. Sorry, I was just checking something. I just upgraded my sword, by the way, so I'm doing more damage than I should be. Just as a heads up on that. They really like the bloom in this game, don't they? Yeah, I do think they made the summons much better in this version. I still won't use them, but they are better. So that's something. Yeah, true enough, Dream Whisperer. So the only one that's interesting is Mateus, Scion of Darkness, ruling and protecting those who live in the underworld, in opposition to La Habrea, Abyssal Celebrant and Scion of Light. Just pointing that out. Now, for all my complaining... Oh yeah, nobody ever gave me a sufficient reason, so, negative to gameplay. Crystal. So, yeah, just gonna... Hello? There we go. Codify that negative there. How many negatives are we up to? Oh my goodness. It's more than I thought, if I'm being honest. Ah! Thank you very much, the Locks. Very much appreciate the sub. Thank you. Do you happen to know where you'd like to put that, as far as increasing interest or priority for a future stream? So anyways, yeah, as much as I complain about this section of the game, it does have a couple of highlights, and this is one of two. First one right here. By the way, something amuses me that the Akuria literally are just hanging out on a floating platform up here. Like, they're completely accessible if you think about it, other than the fact that they have the paling shield up.
Where is everyone?
Fear not, Princess of Dalmasca. We, Okuria, have chosen you, and you alone.
Well, first Takoida, a young paling and an old paling, fall in love and... Or, wait, I said that wrong. A Yamamil and a Fila paling fall in love, and then they have a young paling. Whatever. I was trying to make a dumb joke and I failed. Greedfall, you got it. Okay, real quick. The Okuria were originally going to be Mind Flayers. As in literally illithids. Where they're just lounging around on pillows. Like, you can, if you think I'm joking, you can literally look this up. They were just going to be squid heads lounging around in luxury. I really vastly prefer this version of the Okuria. I think this works perfectly. What's funny, though, is this is, in my opinion, yet another excellent example of how things are better in the English version than the Japanese. Doesn't happen all that often, but I like to point it out every time it does. Because in the Japanese version, these guys don't have anything really special about them other than cadence voices. In the English version, they literally speak in, and I've told you guys this before, iambic tetrameter, just to make them sound and be structured differently. And it works wonderfully for this kind of spoken word situation, where you can literally hear how different they are from everything else in the game. So, kudos.
Ashalia Banargan Dalmasca, we see your heart desires power, and power most holy shall we grant. Seek you the Suncrist, slumbering star. In tower on distant shore, it dreams. The mother of all Nephesite, the source of its unending power. The Dynast King, his fallow shards, coarse trinkets cut from Suncrist's light.
Such power exists?
In times that are long passed away, we sought to save this Ivalice, and chose Wraithwall, the Dynast King. He took the sword and cut the Christ, 3 shards he took from its gilt grasp, and so became the Dynast King. His words and deeds run through your veins.
That's why I was given it. The Sword of Kings.
The treaty held with kings of old is but a memory, cold and still. With you, we now shall treat anew, to cut a run for history's flow. Now take this sword, this treaty blade, Ocurian seal, mark of your worth. Cut deep the crest, and seize your shards. Wield Dynast King's power. Destroy Vanar.
But Vanar... Vanar's an Ocurian. A being like you.
Vanar is a heretic! The Nephesite is ours to give to chosen bearer, or to none. The heretic trespassed, and set the rose of knowledge in man's hand. With imitations they profaned. It is anathema to us. We give you now the stone and task. Administer judgment. Destroy them all.
Judgment?
I hate to interrupt, but I love this scene so much. You'll notice that they spend a long time basically being like, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're amazing. But if you pay attention to how they're saying it, it's not that she's some great person, it's that she's the one they have chosen, which we happen to know that they chose her specifically because she is pliable. So the only thing actually worthwhile about her in their eyes is that she is a tool that can be utilized, and nothing more. The moment she asks any kind of question, and it was just a very innocent question, I thought Vanar was like you, they freak the hell out. No! Vanar's a heretic! And again, wonderful praise to the voice acting. And so then they are like, she spends some time, spends some time being like, no, and just spewing hatred for a minute. And then basically talking about how, the only ones who have the right... We've tried several times, Casual. The only ones who have the right to judge anything is us. The only ones who have the right to give away this power is us. The only ones who have the right to change history or knowledge is us. Go do this. Go proclaim judgment on the world below.
Destroy them all. The Empire?
And notice how they are once again using extremely overt
History's weave.
manipulations.
Haste, they move through 2 short lives. Driven to err by base desires. Toward waste, and wasting, on they run. Undying, we Ocurian light the path for wayward sons of man. Oft did we pass judgment on them, so that Ivalice might endure. Eternal, we are history's stewards, to set the course and keep it true. The chosen is our hand, our fist, to let live some and crush the rest.
Sorry, a couple other really quick notes I want to draw people's attention to. First of all, notice all the statues look very draconic. I find myself wondering how deliberate that is and what these things may have looked like before they became these statue things. I wouldn't call these things gods at all. They're not even that powerful, really. They just have access to the Nephesite and lots of it. And there is some evidence that they have been deliberately keeping it from disseminating properly. To try and explain this a little bit, I want you to imagine, if you could, that there's a group of beings who have access to electricity. And they have been gathering an enormous amount of electricity in one spot. And the only electricity the rest of the world gets is just tiny little tidbits, right? Things that slip through the cracks, basically. But every now and again, they gift this great power of electricity to one chosen individual to say, here, you go do something with this. So this is doubly amusing because, first of all, is the obvious effect it's having on civilization, but the implication, to me, has always been that specifically because they are hoarding the Nethicite, the Christ, and the Larian's bits so much, and all of the Larian's bits have been all hoarded into one spot so tightly and powerfully that they are thus substantially more dangerous than they should be. In short, they keep talking about how theirs is the one true path through history, but there is evidence to indicate that that's the exact opposite of true. That they are literally making the world worse by the destabilization of concentration of mist. Because it's only one of two things. Hardly any or way too much. Right? And we see exactly what happens when you get to some place where there's way too much. We see it in the Nabudi's Deadlands and the Necrohall. We see it in Girovegan, which we just went through, and we'll see it again later when we get to the Pharaohs. So you get the general idea that if they hadn't been hoarding all of this magic in one tiny spot, all of this literal mist in one spot, the world might actually be a substantially more balanced situation. Anyways, thank you very, 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 very much, Larian. Very much appreciate that you have decided to disseminate the bits rather than hoarding them like the Okuria. I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn this into a meme and I'm failing miserably. Thank you. If you happen to know where you want those bits to go, please let me know, Larian. Either way, thank you very, very much. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whichever you prefer. I don't care. That's true. It's possible everyone might die under the other circumstances. We don't know. We're only... I am speculating this because there's a lot of other things about their storytelling that indicate that they are incorrect. And thus, I presume that they're incorrect about this as well. But that's not necessarily true, admittedly. You got it, Larian. Thank you again. I'll spend it on buying dinner for third tonight. How's that sound? Final point I want to mention about this awesome, awesome scene, which is probably getting a plus by itself, by the way, is that the Ash from several hours ago would have just been like, okay. Right? I've said this before. One of my favorite aspects of this story is that Ash's character arc is changing from a villain to a good guy, or at least less of a villain. And I love that. I love the way it's presented. I love the way it's showcased. Ash should be the kind of person who's like, yes, I will take this power and I will reap vengeance and I will sow judgment and I will show them Dalmascan fire and power. Because she actually says that earlier in the game. But because she's been on a bit of a journey, she is a little less inclined to that because, well, perfectly frank, because of Balthier. However, to put this into terminology, I don't think she's a good guy yet. Not at this point. And Tekoida and Dreambomb are both pointing out what I'm about to point out, so forgive me for the repetition. The idea here is that she's still kind of traveling towards good. She's still kind of pulling down from the villain's pedestal. It's just the Okuria are so bad at manipulation. They are so overt that the slap in the face makes her realize what's happening. Basically, what they should have done is they should have aided to Z'd her. I've talked about that concept so many times. On the off chance you've never heard me talk about this, the difference between B to C is minuscule, so it's easy to do. The difference from M to N is minuscule, so it's easy to do. But what the Okuria try to do here is shove her from, like, D to, like, V. Or Q or something. They're just like, here, go down the path. And she's just like, whoa, wait, what? Because the difference between C and Q is huge. And thus, she rejects it. I do personally think if the Okuria were more manipulative, more clever, they would have successfully swayed her and she would be the main villain of this game.
Princess, you have been chosen.
Honestly, probably the thing that really seals this is that they summoned her dead husband here, which makes it very clear that because up until this point, it's obvious that she's been presuming that's actually Rosler. Seeing his usage here, seeing how the Okuria use him, it makes it obvious to her it's not Rosler, and that just pisses her off.
Take revenge against those who stole your kingdom. Fulfill your role as savior. Attain to your birthright.
And as much as I know that the Final Fantasy series leans on this point often and heavily, if not for the presence of the party, she probably would have been even more inclined towards this.
What's with these Acuria? What gives them the right to tell you what to do?
Will you take revenge, as they ask? Huh?
We could not see them, but we heard the Ocuria speak. They may be gods, but we are the arbiters of our destiny. Your Highness, I'm against this. The Empire must pay, but destruction?
Does anyone know what happened to Dr. Sid? Wasn't he saying he'd be here?
He should have arrived by now.
And I should have realized by now. He's not coming. He laid out the bait, and we bit. Remember what he said? He wanted Ash to get the stone. He wanted that all along. That's why he flaunted his nethicite, and reeled us in with his stories about Gidovegan, all to bring Ash to the Ocuria.
But wait, if we got a hold of the nethicite, wouldn't that be bad for the Empire?
Maybe he wants to see what happens when foes with nethicite collide. That'd be just like Dr. Sid.
I will search out the Sun Crest.
History is built by our hands. That's his favorite line. He'd never stand by and watch the Ocuria's stones shape things. So, he was talking to Venar all along. He wasn't mad at all then, was he?
Well, you got one of the worst weapons in the game. Woo! Hey, hang on. Before we have another meanwhile elsewhere, I also have to add that I'm trying to think how to phrase this. You know what? Never mind.
Restore Dalmasca's sovereignty and make our amends with Lady Ash. It's the only way to avert war.
It is a war of necessity. Your Lady Ash herself is bent on it. She desires it above all else. She will not rest until her revenge is full wrought.
I fear you misread her intent. She would sooner shun war than embrace it.
You are young, Larsa.
And you presume beyond your ken.
Then let us look closer. Judge Gabranth. I would have you seek after the Lady Ash and judge whether she makes overtures of peace or war. Yours shall be the eyes of the Empire.
And should I espy war, I am to put her to the sword. Is that your wish, Excellency?
It will not come to that, I am sure. I have faith in her, faith in you both. On you, Gabranth, shall I wager all our fortunes.
As you will.
A very minor point, but I like the idea that Vayne is being genuine here. This isn't just some other ploy. It's like, all right, if she aspires to peace, I need to know so I can maneuver accordingly. If she aspires to war, I need to know so I can maneuver. Go figure out. Like, I think he means that sincerely. And it's one of the things I like about Vayne. He's willing to take, at least I presume, by my perspective, he's willing to take into account perspectives that are not his own, as long as they can prove themselves correct.
That so sweet a child could be your brother is hard to believe.
Larsa is as he should be.
What's that, Venar?
Ah, taken the bait already, have they? Splendid. The Ocuria have given the princess her treaty blade.
The gods have chosen their scribe to write history as they deem fit. Yes, and she with fresh nethicite to aid her.
Bah, to hell with the Ocuria and their stones. What good? A power that cannot be harnessed. Baubles best suited for study, no more.
We conquered 2 kingdoms that you might study these baubles.
Oh, I am grateful for the sacrifice. Without it, manufactured nethicite would have eluded us. An unrivaled weapon, I warrant you. Tell me, Vana, have I not been an apt pupil?
My counsel did but guide your able hand. Through power of man, the stones did you perfect. Yes. So much accomplished in 6 fleeting years. Man's fervor o'er all obstacles prevailing.
Our lives are much too short. You undying might waste long centuries away, but we, I fear, cannot.
Just so. Had we more time, we might have availed ourselves of more prudent measures.
Your greatest work still lies before you. Not lightly will the Ocuria allow you to wrest the reins of history from their grasp, back into the hands of men.
Indeed. What claim does Garen have on history's reins? Seated on throne immortal, rent from time. For your ascendant's vein I offer prayer. May you attain all that which is your due.
Attain it I shall.
For Arcades, yes, absolutely, Mighty Mage.
For too long have my deeds gone unrewarded.
Not sure about Rosaria. We know too little about them. I will freely admit, and this is part of the story problem I've already given a negative for, Cid's overall plan with Ashe is somewhat unclear at this point. Powering Bahamut? Sure, yeah, that makes a degree of sense. But, like, what exactly is his end goal here? Since at the moment all they're doing is trying to push her into a position where she will do the Ocuria's bidding, which is not in their favor.
In tower on distant shore dreams the sun Christ. Do these words mean aught to you?
Yeah, we need to go to Pharos. The worst dungeon in the game.
Maybe you found out something that can help.
I'd rather stay out of that Sky Pirate's debt, thank you.
What's wrong with Redis? I mean, if you can't trust your own kind, who can you trust?
Sorry. I mean, if you can't trust humans, who can you trust? Oh, right. So check this out. I think I showed this off during the lore run as well. So how many of you walked out of there rather than realizing that that was a teleport out? Oh yeah, and lest I forget, plus to story. One moment. Neither, Aethel. But if I had to take into account Final Fantasy Tactics, then it would be a negative, absolutely. As I talked about extensively during the lore run, there are no substantial connections between Tactics or 12, and I think trying to connect them both makes both suffer. The same way I think trying to connect 2 and 4 makes them suffer, the same way I think trying to make 7 and 10 connect suffers. Don't mistake me, I'm actually very in favor of continuity. In fact, I wish the FFs were connected. But they're not. And that's the problem. trying to force a connection is at best retconning at this point. If they were designed to be connected, sure, but they are not. So anyways, yeah, plus to story, the cutscenes we just saw. Don't really feel bad about that one. It's funny, because I actually talked about that earlier, okay? I have a hard time calling Vayne what I would traditionally call evil. But he is pragmatic to the point of evil, is what I like to call that. Oh, you might someday turn against me. Stab! Can't be too sure. I blew 40 Phoenix Downs in that stupid place. Okay, so my classes, I feel like I've answered this several times, are Knight, Time Mage, Dragoon, White Mage, and Samurai, Black Mage. Those are my classes. Let's check the spell vendor really quick here. Now that's interesting. I would think a negative to gameplay for quickenings. I hate the quickening system. So why do you think quickenings are a plus? I already did that. I haven't actually given a negative to quickenings, but I wanted to. 25 remedies, 30 X potions. So, speaking of what Kay is talking about right now, I had a thought about this off camera. I've said many times, including yesterday, that I think that there's 3 main characters in this game. And those 3 characters are, of course, Ash, Bosch, and Balthier. I've changed my mind on that. Ash is the main character of this game, bar none. And having replayed through this and analyzing it, I can't believe I've ever thought anything else was. Balthier has moments of significance and relevance, and is very important for her character arc. Bosch is something of a guiding factor, and also has direct personal relevance to several of the other characters. But this has always been Ash's story, and will continue to be so, basically up until the ending.
Ships in the water. Send fishing dories if need be, I care not. Glossair engines are as good to us as sky to a fish. Leave what boats have foundered. I want souls saved, not driftwood.
That's because you're insane, Eric. I mean...
Our armada ran afoul of bad water near the Riderana Cataract. All engines stopped a sudden. Becalmed. Trouble with a mist thick as death, it seems.
By the way, Eric, I thought you were one of the 7,000 people who say Balthier is the main character. Which I've heard, which is the most common thing I hear.
Those seas are yacht. I expected airship trouble, not a fleet foundering amidst the waves. Tell me of what happened in Girovegon. From the lay of your eyes, I measure all did not go well. Cid. Was he false, as I feared?
Yes. But we may have caught a glimpse of his true intent. We may now know what it is that Cid searches for.
So the day-affected Nithosite was only a fragment? And these Ocuria I know not and care to know even less.
If we strike this Suncrest with the Sword of Kings, no new stone may be born. We say the Suncrest is the source of all Nethosite's power. If we might break it, the Dusk Shard would be as a thing lifeless. As for the manufactured Nethosite, who can say?
There is another way. We used the Treaty Blade to cut a new stone from the Crest. Use that to fight the Dusk Shard and the manufactured stones.
Would you like to know the best use of Nethosite? Will or nil, I'll tell you. You pick it up and throw it away.
Either way, we have to find the Suncrest first, right? Don't we? Across the sea, and a tower on a distant shore. Redis?
Familiar words, Vaughn. I saw something of the sort written in some documents I chanced upon during my visit to Draklor. The Naldoan Sea, the Ridgerana Cataract, and the Pharos Lighthouse. I sent my fleet to fish out the truth behind these words, and caught trouble.
Then proof is ours. This lighthouse on the Naldoan Sea is the tower on the distant shore. The strong mist that becalmed your ships is a grimmer yet clearer sign than any we might hope for. The Suncrest is there.
All well and good, but how do we get there? Those seas are in Yacht, as I recall.
Try putting this one in your ship. 'Tis a skystone made to resist Yacht.
More spoils from the Draklor labs, is it? Why not use it yourself?
That's just the thing. My ship's a Bergerben model. It will not work. But, should it fit the Strahl, she'll fly in Yacht. Lady Ash, I would accompany your highness, if you do not object.
I am in your care. But tell me one thing. Why do so much for us?
The Nabudis Deadlands.
Nabudis was your home?
Nay, but a memory forever burned in my heart.
If only I could look as badass as Redis. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I've always assumed, although this is headcanon, that Yacht was an invention of the Ocuria to keep humanity more or less literally grounded and contained. You can fly around here. See, and now we have Redis in the party. This is when most people go and do all the optional stuff, including me. We're not going to, unless you want me to. For real, this would be the time to say something. I'm gonna go and warn you, it's gonna be kinda slow and boring. Because, well, yeah, it's... Remember, I spent 2 hours this morning and an hour last night doing hunts. And I'll tell you exactly what it is. Alright, go to the thing, read the thing, get the next 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 thing, okay. Now remember, there's no quicker version, there's no real way to warp straight to the guy, so you just have to run around and like, okay, so hang on, let's run over here, and let's pretend he's like in this next room, so we gotta go back over here. Go over this way, go over here, hang on, we're not there yet, we're not here. I am not getting Zodiark, screw you. And then we go up here and we're like, hey, dude, yes, I'm the one who petitioned this hunt, please go to this place, okay. So then you go and warp to the then you go walk to the nearest warp point, because you're nowhere near the nearest warp point. And then you go to this spot, and then you either kill the thing, or you know, figure out the method in order to spawn the thing. And that's the hunts. Oh, and then because there's no exit spell, you just run all the way back to the warp portal, run back to the warp portal, or excuse me, hang on, run back to the warp portal, warp to the other warp portal, run back to the guy, and turn it in. Now, that all probably doesn't sound all that terrible, but I gotta be honest, in practice, just sitting down and doing hunts gets really old. Speaking from experience from this morning. So that's not just by memory or whatever. That being said, what is required to do Gilgamesh? I'm pretty sure hunts have received a negative. And I stand by that. Yep. Hunts have received a negative. Yeah, there's also a lot of hunts. Like a lot. I actually had a list up earlier. Yep, here it is. So there are... One moment. 32 regular hunts, and then... Hang on. Looks like 14 elite hunts. Well, that was a story positive, Dreambomb. But I do think it's a gameplay negative, and I stand by that. Because, yeah, there is actually some really good story in the hunts. I've shown off a bit of it almost every time I've played these. And make sure I did. Yep, there it is. 0.17. Make it very clear that I'm referring to hunts and the bestiary. No. There. Because I agree, there's some good... How do I phrase this? See, here's the thing, and doing this morning kind of helped add to my opinion on this. One of the hunts I did was the Vorpal Bunny, which you probably don't remember, and I don't blame you if you don't. It's exactly the same format. Run to... Warp 2, run 2, fight thing, run 2, turn in, right? Now, at the end of all of that, which took, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, something like that, when I finally got back, there was actually an entire cutscene, non-voice acted, of course, none of these are voice acted, between the Viera, and they discussed how there's two separate classes, that is to say castes, amongst the Viera, even the ones in the woods. There's the salve makers, and then there's the wood... gatherers or whatever, the hunters basically. And there's been an uneasy situation socially between these two groups for a while. And the specific reason, the Wood Warders, thank you. And the specific reason this Viera, whose name was Nira, I remember her name because I just did this morning, was she wanted you to do this hunt in order to try and make up for the fact that there was actually a wood warder who failed at their job at saving a salve maker, which was increasing tensions. So by making you go do this hunt to get rid of the creature that caused the problem and get the resource from it to give to a salve maker in order to be able to make this salve for the wood warders, they would be able to help branch the difference between the two things. All of this is there, right? That's good stuff, and that's why it's a plus to story. Because it's good stuff. It's just, it's one cutscene in 30 minutes. And it feels a little bit like a less extreme version of the Kingdom Hearts Unchained mobile game, if you've played that. If you haven't, I'll explain. Do a mission, do a mission, do a mission, do a mission, do a mission. Cutscene, do a mission, do a mission, do a mission, do a mission, do a mission. That's the Kingdom Hearts mobile game in a nutshell. I'm skipping the fact that about 9/10 of the cutscenes are boring drivel. Let's ignore that for a second. Either way, this is why I say it is both a plus to story and a negative to gameplay, because it's boring and droll to do, but it's worth doing. So it's a slog to get to good stuff. Thanks, game. Anyway, so hang on, since I have the hunts up here, where is... what's his face? One moment. Where's the list? Here we go. Where's Gilgamesh? Here we go. So he's... how do I unlock it? It's not going to tell me. Of course it isn't. Why would it? I know I have to do a lot of stuff to unlock Gilgamesh. Of course, this isn't even telling me specifics, so that's neat. Yeah. I just think the activity should be less boring, Aethel. just to summarize that specifically. Yeah, I have to do the antlion hunt, which I actually think I have access to right now. Probably. Well, hang on. Yeah, exactly what Takoida says. Like, a little bit restructuring of the nature of how the hunts actually go would pretty much fix any of my problems with the hunts. The actual content of the hunts is generally fine, with the exception of, you know, the gill snapper and related problems. I've actually never done all the side stuff in FF15, and since I have no plans to ever play 15 again, it looks like I do not have access to the antlion. So yeah, imagine basically taking roughly a half hour with a guide, with cheating in order to do all these. And cheating is the speed up, obviously. So that's about 6-ish hours there in order to do all of these. You know what? I'm not going to let you guys choose. I'm sorry. I know there's a few of you who are like, ah, Laura, you suck and you're awful and terrible. And you're right. I do suck. I am awful and I am terrible and I'm horrible. But I think in the interest of good streaming and keeping the schedule moving and not having large sections of dead airtime where all we do is talk about Star Wars, I'm just going to move on. Sorry. Yeah, it's totally not happening, Dakota. However, since I don't really have time to dig into Pharaohs right now, so that means we're probably going to beat the game tomorrow. Unless I could start... I guess I'll start the Pharaohs. I'll start Pharaohs. I've got a little bit of time. And that means we'll probably start FF7 Monday, give or take. I have no idea how long FF7 is going to take. What's funny is I figured this game would be a lot longer, because I didn't realize I'd be playing the whole game on double speed. I don't remember which one of these is it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Or that... Yeah, tell me about it, Kay. Yeah, the drop all cheat and the fast forward function. Hell yeah. So anyways, I just went to the wrong place, because I'm a moron. Yeah, imagine if 10 had the fast forward function. Yeah, I would imagine... All you have to do is remember that I've played this game literally on double speed, so basically double the amount of time I've spent on it, and that's about how long this game would be without double speed. Okay, I complained about this during the low run, and I complain about this every time I play this game. What the hell am I looking at? So there's this inner sea, and a big lighthouse at the end of it. And on the other side of the lighthouse is this giant freaking cliff edge thing. What is this? There's actually clouds down below the cliff edge. Are we on a floating continent? Where's the water coming from? Geography of this has always made me just go... Look at that! Look at that! Where are we? And again, yeah, we do literally know continents fly in this setting, so it would make sense if we're literally on a flying continent. What do you want to bet that that is part of the cut content from the end of the game? Because we're at the point where a lot of content is just ripped out of the story, and it's becoming more and more noticeable as we go.
Distant shore. and about its peak a piercing mist.
And in that mist, the Suncrest waits.
My lady, your words still sound of doubt. Pray you reach your answer ere we the Suncrest.
And? Should I choose revenge, what then?
Then I'll kill you.
Your woe shall be your own.
I've always personally thought that Redis would literally have killed her if she decided to use the power for her own means.
Vaughn, a word. If something untoward should happen to me, you're taking the straw.
Untoward? What's this about?
I am the leading man. Might need to do something heroic. Don't worry, I'll show you how to fly her.
And yeah, that's a fair point, Kay. None of the characters even comment on the floating continent thing we got going on here, so... It's like Bella over there. Bella is a floating continent. It's pretty awesome. In fact, we're on Bella right now, so this is the Bella Calic continent. Hope you guys enjoy. Speaking of status effect bosses, I hope you enjoy traps, too. There's a lot of traps and status effect bosses here. Thank you very, very much, Bella Calic. Very much appreciate the sub, as always. Thank you. And I will put that towards Link's Awakening. I agree, Kay. Yeah, this dungeon can get interesting. I agree that Gabranth could have pushed her over the edge. Ironically, Vaughn is one of the big elements that prevents it from happening, making it the third and final good Vaughn cutscene, and arguably the only time Vaughn is really relevant to the story. Yeah. Jesus Christ, stop stepping on traps, guys! Can't even interact with the crystal. There we go. No, Mighty Mage. And if you talk about it, we'll ban you instantly and without hesitation, unless it's tomorrow. Yeah, if I had Libra on right now, you'd see there's just traps everywhere. And also Yzmat. We are super not fighting Yzmat. Oh yeah, someone did mention Star Wars. Sorry, that is a take a shot. So this is, for all intents and purposes, the actual last dungeon of the game. Even though there is a dungeon after this. Does anybody have Libra? It's actually an interesting question. Nope. I've beaten Yzmat. In fact, I've told the story about Eric. He was the one who walked in on me sleeping while fighting that guy many times at this point. Boring-ass boss. Exactly, Dream Whisperer. I'm going to leave probably about a little under half an hour from now. Gross. Bahamut does technically qualify as the last dungeon. That's the problem, Mighty Mage. So we're already diseased. I agree, Kay. A lot of horrifying stuff, not a lot of gross stuff. It's basically... like, imagine if Dark Souls was actually good, and that's FF12. I don't think so. I could try it. Immune! Up. Only one drink, sorry. Max time. Come on, Redis, go back to attacking. Actually, Redis is basically soloing this guy while the rest of us are healing and buffing. It's hilarious. I will not be streaming after the movie. I mean, I'm not even going to get out of the movie until, like, an hour before I'd cut off stream. And then I've got, you know, the trip home. So, yeah, no. We're not streaming for the rest of the day. Sorry, Max time. Only the one. Can I please just cheat? Please! I don't want to play this game legit anymore. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so negative. The problem here is disease. The problem with this boss is disease. So let me look that up really quick, since you guys won't let me cheat because you're evil. I mean, I've already given the game a negative for grinding. Why can't I cheat? God damn it. Alright, so. I do like this game. Do you see its story score, Max Time? Do you? Can you name any game other than Witcher 3 that beats that score? No, you can't. God damn it, the teleport spot is after this. I really don't think FF6 is going to have a better story score than this. 9? Maybe. 7? Maybe. I'll be completely honest, Max. I know you don't like this game, but... And you're probably going to be making fun of me for this, but I'm actually surprised at how many story positives this one has gotten. I wasn't expecting this many at all. I was expecting like 10. Yeah, 9, I've already said this before, 9 is probably going to be the highest rated of the FFs in terms of numbers. That is what I'm predicting. So, can I cheat? Yes, no? Please? Like, I could go... Sure, I'll try the elixir. Because I know exactly what I could do to become more powerful. And it's actually not grind. I don't need to go grind. What I need to do is skip a cutscene, because I can skip cutscenes in this game. What I need to do is I need to pull up a walkthrough. And I need to figure out where all the spells are and where all the equipment is. And then I need to go make a list of where I need to go get what. And then I need to go do it. That's what I need to do right now. That's the power I am missing, and that's the walkthroughitis negative. Do I not have any? I have one elixir. Well, that didn't work out. No, it's okay. It was worth trying, Dream Whisperer. That's why I tried it. It was a good idea. So, I actually have a cheat here. It's not a built-in cheat. It's called Kill the Enemy Instantly. Can anyone guess what it does? I'll give you 3 guesses. Yes, I could hypothetically one-shot Yzmat with this, which is the only reason I really wish I could go do all the hunts and go kill Yzmat, because that would be so... Oh, that would be wonderful to just be like, hi, Yzmat. Oh, wrong finger. Sorry, this one. Oh, you're dead. Aww. Because remember, I've killed Yzmat legit back in the day on the PS2 version. The slower, grindier version than this one. I don't think there's anything that allows me to access hunts, no. And I am correct. So basically, no. What I would have to do is I'd have to go do the hunts next time. And again, even with killing things quickly, that's still, most of the slog is still going to be there.
Hey, Fran. Something's written on the wall.
Engraved by someone, it seems. It's quite old. Lo, seeker in days unborn, God blade bearer. Know you, this tower challenges the sky. Where the watcher, the ward of the three waits, soul hungry, unsated. He without power, want it not. He with power, trust it not. He with sight, heed it not. Rend illusion, cut the true path. In blood, Wraithwall.
The Dynast King?
Does it startle you? The Dynast King took his sword from the Ocuria. It was here he claimed the Nethicite. He must have known he was not the last the Ocuria would choose. He left this for you. Rend illusion, cut the true path. Words of much mystery, yet his blood runs in your veins. Perhaps it whispers to you the truth.
I mean, you think that's weird, Juju's? I know some people who like WoW Vanilla. I'm just in a snarky mood today. I apologize. For those of you who don't know, I was poking fun at Dark Souls. I know plenty of people like Dark Souls. I don't, admittedly, but I would never call Dark Souls a bad game. Although, you want to hear something funny, Kay? If you're still there. Which you might not be. Kay left me. It's okay. I understand, Kay. So, as my go-to-sleep thing every night, I watch speedruns. That helps me to relax. And I've been making my way through SGDQ 2019. And one of the speedruns was Dark Souls 2. And what's really funny is, it's the only Dark Souls game where I can actually recognize things. Like, going through it, it's like, oh, I know where that is. And now he's about to fight this boss, and this is what you have to do. Like, I actually knew Dark Souls 2 better than 1 or 3. I just thought that was kind of funny. Thank you very much, Papa Neeks. Appreciate the sub, as always. Thank you. And I will go ahead and put that towards Unzoth. Yeah, no, it's entirely because of the co-op stream we did of that. We spent quite a while in Dark Souls 2. At the time. But yeah, Dark Souls 3, eh. Dark Souls 1, probably the best designed game-wise, but otherwise, eh. Never played Demon Souls, don't want to play Bloodborne. Sorry, I'm debating. Because I'm looking at the time, and I don't have much time left. I did play Sekiro, which I didn't like. Liked it up to a point. And I know what you're thinking, but Sekiro was a net positive on your score. It was, you're absolutely right. I still didn't like it. I didn't like Sekiro. Yeah, that's also the game of the year, consequently. No, Papa Neeks. It depends on where we're at stream-wise, and we're not close enough to really determine that yet. That is extremely not true, Kay. I was actually liking Sekiro quite a bit up until Genichiro. And then screw that game. To this day, I don't think I could beat that guy without cheating. I really don't. You gonna let me... Did he just instantly die? From beasts of Tower's base rest the orbs you seek, ripe with hidden magics. Orbs of Tower's magics born, here and here alone to be found. No, I didn't turn the cheat off. And I don't care. I've stopped caring. Care level, psh. Now, the real problem is picking up these stupid orbs, because the game is finicky about it. So that's problem number one with the Pharaohs. We should start keeping track of all the things wrong with the Pharaohs. Problem number one, black orbs. What do you mean, Aethel? I mean, they're evil. Or do you mean, like, more than that? My phone was just like, hey, you've got a movie. I'm like, I know, phone. Come on. Come on. There we go. Every freaking time I try to get these orbs, I have issues. Every single time. Even on the PS2 version, with an actual controller, without speed up. So what's the curious thing? So they have access to Nethicite, and they're mages, and they try to hoard power and prevent others from having it. Oh god, yeah, this is the Paling Dungeon, isn't it? There's problem number 2 with the Pharaohs. Help me keep track. No, companies. I'm pretty much done streaming WoW. Kinda done playing WoW, but that's unrelated. See you around next time. Yeah, the Ocuria have several advantages, but they're not gods, by just about any definition. They really want you to think they're gods, though. Like, really, really, really. Like, please worship us, please. We'll be your best friend. Actually, we won't. We'll constantly tell you how much you suck, but, you know. Still, you know, there's the idea's there. I'm having an easier time picking this up than I normally do, at double speed. That's kind of sad. Maybe, Takata. Benighted child, unchosen, with life so short, this tower freely you may tread. In your passing learn of truth, in your passing speak of truth, these words writ by hands undying. I could show off trial mode. Sure, why not? Who wants me to show off trial mode before I go to see a movie? So this is trial mode. With cheats. Gonna take my hands off the controllers. Nothing up my sleeve. So this is how trial mode works. As I've actually already talked about this. But the way it works is you just kind of get warped between these various fights. Let's go ahead and speed that up. The fights get difficult very quickly. In fact, legitimately, I've never even finished Trial 10. I'll give you an idea. Although I haven't tried in a few days at this point. So then it just warps you to the next one. Now you might be thinking, what's the point of this? Well, part of the idea is to have it be a bit of a boss rush, but more to the point, there's a lot you can get from these. This is the really weird part about the trial. So the real benefit, the most gameplay useful benefit of the trial, is that these enemies are predictable. You will always fight the exact same enemies in the exact same quantities at every stage in the trial that you go through, right? What that means is you'll have a very high chance of stealing from an exact enemy spawn without having to, deal with all the hassle of trying to get it to spawn in the normal game. So it's an extremely common strategy to get to a certain point in the trial. Steal, quit out, reload this autosave, steal, quit out, reload the autosave, until you successfully steal. You can also use this to poach, or to get, whatever. No, that's all from... It's only a reward in the sense that you're fighting known variables, K. Because at floor, what is it, like 69 or something? Hang on, let me actually pull this up. Because I was just looking at this earlier. Blah, blah, blah. So, for example... I can give you an exact example here. You do get a reward for every 10th thing. And the reward you get for the 100th is a Phoenix Down, a Bubble Mote, and an Elixir. Anyways, I'm trying to find it. It was somewhere in the 50s, I want to say. Because there's something you could steal. There's literally a list of all the things you can steal from here. Like you can steal Hermes Bandits, or Haystog Emotes, or Dragon Whisker, Golden Axe. Actually, good stuff here. Not the Genesis game. And that's basically the value of it. Oh yeah, you get experience if that even matters by the time you're doing this. It doesn't. The only... I'm not super impressed with trial mode. Let me just go ahead and get that out there. I mean, it is what it is, but it's like, okay. I have heard from an actual interview that the developers wanted this to be a place to try... Basically have a trial of the Gambit system. Like, how well can you make your Gambit system, right? So, floor 10 complete. That is true. There is the unique boss fight with the judges. So there you go. 1,000 gil, 10 high potions, 15 handkerchiefs. Totally worth it. And yeah, the actual super boss, the new super boss of FF12 is the judge fight. And I know speedrunners use trial mode to get some gear here. Yeah, you also get the level 1 challenge mode for beating this. I'm almost amused how long this is taking, even with quad speed and instant kill. This is... I wonder how long an average run of this takes, if you're doing it legitimately. Well, that was cathartic. You remember the ringworm? Oh god, the Earth Tyrant. I remember the Earth Tyrant fight. That fight sucked. Isn't this where we fight Exodus? 2,000 gil, 10 Phoenix Downs, and 5 Domain Calvados, which I actually don't know what those are. Oh, Mexican food sounds good right now. 2 hours. I believe it. This does not seem like a quick jaunt. I vote Mexican too. Jesus, if you have access to it. Oh my god! See you around Dreambomb. Yeah, this is basic. If you want to bow out of either the VOD or the stream, this is all I'm doing until I head out. Are they going to do all of these? They totally are, aren't they? I do love Mexican carrots. A lot. Yeah, I've already shown off Quickenings. I don't want to show them off again. Did they just kill themselves? They totally did! Yes, Achilles War. I already showed off Summon, too. I do like what they did with summons in this version. Legit. Maybe I'm after this guy? Hey, the Gill Snapper! Oh, that sounds good, Ovane. Got 3,000 gil. Definitely worthwhile. Yeah, the rewards for this mode are the stealing and the early access to items. The actual built-in rewards are junk. Pretty much across the board. Oh, looks like we're committing genocide. Again. What is it with these streams and genocide? God. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nuclear. Hope I'm saying that right. I don't actually know what else to add to that. As I've said many times, I do think Dark Souls and Sekiro are good games, I just don't like them. Coffee, as I like to say it. I don't know if you know this from my StarCraft stream, but I actually really like talking, chatting, and generally interacting with people and viewers, you know, like you. So if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, feel free. We're just kind of running through this for the hell of it right now. So this is basically talk about whatever other than Star Wars mode. The cheat I'm using is instantly kill enemies. 2 guesses as to what it does. $4,000 gil, 10 Phoenix Downs, and 3 reverse modes. Reverse modes. I mean, coffee literally burns my throat, Kay, and I despise the taste of it, so... Oh yeah, by the way, you'll notice we have Redis with us. That's the thing to keep in mind. Whenever you go into the trials, you take whatever you had in the actual save, including guest characters. Was that Kukulane? That was Kukulane, wasn't it? Holy crap. We're just no men on episode 9. And if you want to talk about episode 8, I'm just going to not talk about it. Because it's actually against my rule to talk about it. It's a forbidden topic. But that only applies to me, not you. So there's the outline, which we have to kill in order to get Gilgamesh. Ewoks, the battle for Endor does not exist. I don't know what you're talking about. So here's some enemies we'll be fighting in the Pharaohs later. Tomorrow. How far do you go, Mighty Mage? Some of these are really funny, I'll admit it. Here's the boss! Hey, it's one of the most irritating fights in FF14. Not because he's hard, but because no one can see where his frickin' pillars are. Yeah, true enough, Mighty Mage. I actually thought about farming Dustia, since I have access to do that at this point. And I was like, you know what? No, I've done enough farming. Hey, we're halfway there, I think. I think it takes longer to save after doing these than to do these. Here's a good song. They have all the good songs for these. Aw. There's another group we just genocided. Why do we keep genociding people? God. Rude. I agree. Kai Vurul Vailem. So what do you think, guys? Should I get a hot dog or nachos when I go to the movie? Because I'm actually going to skip lunch. For God's sakes. Yes, I know I have a movie in an hour and a half. Holy crap. Oh god, the chocobos. Is this Begamnon? It's totally Begamnon. We do, Mr. Nuclear. Nuclear, excuse me, God. I keep trying to say nuclear. I'm so stupid. It's okay, the chocobos are extremely dead. They'll never hurt anyone again. And now more genocide! Genocide! Woo! I'm actually not 100% sure they'll have hot dogs. So, we're not going to the usual theater. We're going to the nice theater. Not because it's Star Wars, but because they were the only ones who had tickets available. Yeah, we were really sold out for tickets here. It's also part of why we're going in the middle of the day, rather than the evening. Hey, Bagamnes. Or Bactames, or however you say their stupid name. You know, optional endgame content at this point. Genocide. Woo! All the time they're making all the genocide. Woo! Killed all of them. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Oh man, so when Spider-Man came out recently, hey, it's Humbaba's. They had this, like, blue and red peppermint popcorn. And it was terrible. God, it tasted like crap. Like, I don't mind candy-coated popcorn, but whatever they made was just... What are we up to? I've lost track. Oh, we're up to 60. Hey, it's Exodus! It was Exodus. I like how it stops me before I can even loot the loot. Like, as soon as they die, it's like, nope, nope, you're done, you're done. Oh, it's Vivian! No! I remember that hunt. Oh my gosh, that hunt. How many of you have bad memories of... actually, Carrot is even worse. How many of you have bad memories of Carrot? I suppose I should raise my hand on that one. I have bad memories. I don't know what we're going to fighting at this point. Like, at some point or another, we're going to run into the Gabranth trio, and that's going to be... Hey, it's time to genocide the Vieira now. Death to the Vieira! For some reason. All the bad guys die in one shot. That's a good one, Cobra. Oh god, elementals. For some reason, elementals are still some of the worst enemies in this game for me. I guess they're designed to be. But it makes farming them for their stuff really aggravating, which I had to do in my 100% playthrough. Yes they do, Mighty Mage. Even Zodiark does. Nope, no lore here, Aethel. There's only Arsh. I guess I should say there's only the runner. Yep, sorry, Permeus. I saw the male Vieira, and I said, they must die. Yeah, it probably says something that so many of these levels are just an elemental, a super elemental. Look at this. Oh, here's 4 super elementals. That's mean. $20 to go. This is going pretty fast, actually. Oh, 8,000 gil! Whoa! I'm pretty sure that 8,000 gil is worth nothing by the point I'm at here. Here's a good song. Arguably the best song in the game. Oh, it's Zeromus. Probably the coolest looking summon in the game, in my opinion. Ultra Behemoths. It literally would not cover the items that I have actually used. Ghost T-Rexes. So far I haven't seen anything I don't recognize. What? Okay. Ah, the Terror Tyrant. He's a fun one. Oh, time to genocide humanity. Well, humans are dead now. Oh god, you remember this guy? Oh, that guy. Ugh. I don't remember his name. It's like the Ancient Dragon or something. Yeah, I just killed Redis's crew. Was that? That wasn't Yzmat, was it? It might have been. No, Linkensky, not at all. 9,000 gil! 2 mega elixirs and 15 remedies. Yeah, we just killed the chick with the terrible outfit. Okay, last slot shot. So what do we got here? Hang on, so I could just look it up. Give me a second. Where's the trial? I was just looking at this. So, floor 80-something, because we're at, like, 90 now. Down, down, down. So there was Zeromus, the High Reavers, Gira Venegas, Chaos, Rickon... Nope, that was the Hellworm, I was right. That was the Hellworm, not Yzmat. The Hellworm is the one in, the Sochin Palace underneath Arcades. And if we get down to... So next we're going to have the Magic Pots, the Shadow Seer, the Red Chocobos, Gilgamesh, Ultima, Abystial, Zodiark, Yzmat, Omega Mark 12, and Gabranth. Or the judges, rather. So here's the Magic Pot. Here we have the Doom Chocobos, the ones with Choco Comet. There's Gilgamesh. There was Gilgamesh. So I showed him off. There was Gilgamesh, just for you guys. There's Ultima. Oh, wait, no, wait. Okay, this might actually be bad. Holy Ja!
Your best.
There we go. Okay, Ultima's dead. Now Zodiark. Oh, no, never mind. Now it's the Abystials. This is what I level on right here. Abystials. In this exact room. And I have no idea, Mighty Mage. I think it just killed them before they could put up the paling. I'm not sure, though. Then again, it did kill the pot. So there's Zodiark. He looks like a little worm thing. I don't know. I mean, they talk about that during his thing. Anyways, Shadow Ja, or Dark Ja, or whatever it's called. Which... we managed. We're okay. So Zodiark's dead. Now it's going to be Yzmat. Hang on. I want to savor this. Not. Oh, crap. I took too long.
At your best.
Oh my god! Did you... So that's how the cheat works. We just do a ridiculous amount of damage. You could tell because it took multiple hits to kill Yzmat. Holy crap. Anyways, here's Omega 12. Wow! Oh, and so here's all of the judges. There's actually a really cool concept. Shame I'm going to be one-shotting all of them, but there's no way I'm doing this legit at, like, level 40. And Bergen is the last to fall. And we did it! We did trial mode. Completely legitimately. What? Time to complete, 21 minutes, 37 seconds. We can now begin New Game Minus, which we're not going to do, of course. The end, that's it, that's trial. Okay, cool. No, we're cheating, Mr. Nuclear. We are super cheating. We are mega cheating. So that was the thing, and that's trial mode. It feels tacked on and kind of needless to me, but I get the point of it and the value of it, especially for speedrunners, so I'm just going to call that a wash, I think. Now, unfortunately, as much as I would absolutely love to go ahead and smash through the Pharos right now, I got a movie to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and chop off the local recording.